All right, welcome to Pass the Mic, episode 68, Friday, April 21st. We are not in Barcelona. We are not in Paris, but we may be in what some call the Monaco of Downriver. We are at Woodhaven High School.
This is the Monaco. That's well put.
We are at a track and field meet here to record. We're very pinched for time. Record for being pinched for time.
Yes.
For Pass the Mic, Mike Gervasi here.
No raps this week.
No raps at all.
We don't want to look like fools.
Feedback from last week?
Yeah, backing into parking spots seemed to generate a lot of controversy. A lot of people for, a few against.
Don't mind the gunshots.
We're just at a track meet. We're not going to die. We're not huddled here. There's some kids around there.
Backing into parking spots. Yeah, that's one of those things. It's sort of like salt, butter on your popcorn. Extra. There's one side that wants something, one side that doesn't.
The other thing was I watched the Simpsons episode, which I really do. You know what came up? James Madison, 4th president of the United States, opposed to gas station pizza.
Yes, and we were called some limousine liberals.
Limousine liberal, yes.
Because
who called us that?
I don't remember. Who did?
Sakura? Ken Sakura?
I don't know. I don't think so. He didn't give me much crap about the brisket at Buc-ee's.
That's true.
We do want to give a shout out to our camera.
Yes.
Do you want to take this? Who's our camera?
Ariana Pate. The Pates strike again. We're not going to mention the names of the parents, but we will give a shout out to her because Ariana volunteered to do this. Well, we asked her, but she volunteered. She said yes. She was very grateful. We have some people lingering around.
Give them some camera. Let's give Miss Torres, the art coordinator, our graphics coordinator.
Hello there.
Greatest guest of all time.
Been on 3 times. This is a trifecta.
Yes.
3rd time. You've been on 3 times.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Education this week. Oh wait,
no.
Mike.
Who's your Mike?
My Mike. I gotta look it up.
Powell.
Michael Powell. I was gonna do a different Mike, but we're at long jump pit right here. Michael Powell, world record long jumper, 28, 29 feet, I believe it may be. Something.
Where was he from?
I don't even know. We really looked over. Listen, I had a different mic.
My fault.
I had a different mic that was totally. This guy's not jumping 29 feet. He's singing. Everybody's working for the weekend. See if you can figure out who that mic might be coming up.
Michael Bolton?
That's not another musician.
How could we be lovers if we're not friends?
Yeah. Okay. So we got our mic of the week. Education
right.
topic. We wanted this plays in perfectly. How hard is it to work in a school right now in the spring months? How hard is it with everything going on? Testing. Spring athletics, sports, your kids being involved in athletics, end of the year crunch, graduation, the kids just being amped up in general. Tell me how hard it is. Since I've lost touch with the classroom, how hard is it teaching in the spring?
Here, like the most basic one of all, the most basic thing of all, we don't even know if the bells are going to go off.
Or announcements.
Are we going to have bells? Are we going to have announcements? Yes. Today there was announcements. I didn't know there was going to be announcements. You had an odd choice of songs today.
Luther Vandross, it was his birthday.
Oh, okay.
The former, let's name another dead person on this show.
Right,
Luther Vandross, rest in peace. Did he sing?
No, that was an Eddie Murphy impression of Luther Vandross. Okay. So I was doing an impression.
Do you remember Luther Vandross would always fluctuate?
Eddie Murphy delirious.
He'd either be very fat or very... I'm not trying to be rude. His weight fluctuation.
It did fluctuate.
And then he ended up dying of a stroke.
That's why I was laughing.
You're laughing because he died of a stroke.
No, I was laughing because it was a shock laughter. You called him fat. P-H-A-T.
Listen, I'm not the skinniest guy in the world either, but I don't fluctuate. I am who I am.
You seem to talk about food a lot on here. That's what I'm hearing.
I do.
Yeah.
So back to education.
Yes.
Why is this a tough
The bells. So the bells. The kids are in and out constantly. You plan a test. You got about 5 or 6 kids per class that have to retake it because of the fact that's not a gunshot again. Because of the fact that they're out because of sports. So it's a chaotic time. What do you got? What do you think?
The library's closed for weeks upon weeks.
Right.
Nobody knows where anybody is. The kids are antsy. Once we get those 80-degree days, who wants to be in the building?
Right.
Like, who wants
nobody?
Like nobody. I mean,
you had a good story about Nate too the other day. 6-hour
What was
test.
the story? Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Sports. So spring sports. You think you got a track meter? They all have to get out early because you're not playing at night. So these kids are missing classes. I'm not complaining about it. Other people in our building may. It's part of the deal. But all of a sudden, like my son may be a doofus on the doofus scale a little bit. I don't have to be in 6 hour. I don't have to study for Mr. Raymond's test. Well, guess what? Track meet didn't happen. All of a sudden, you're in trouble.
You got to prepare though.
Yes, he wasn't. He believed me. He got it.
Failing to prepare is preparing to fail.
Yes. So,
that's
but it's just a busy time, and like I looked at the May calendar. The May's even worse.
Yeah.
I mean, the calendar for us is so bad. We're sitting here at a track meet, recording, at the Monaco of Downriver.
Yeah.
Where's
That
the
was
closest
funny.
casino? Maybe Mr. Tchaikovsky would really like that. Maybe they'll put that in like his retirement video.
I hope he's not upset we're doing this.
Oh, we didn't get a permit at Versailles. We probably needed one here.
Yes.
All right, overrated, underrated.
Yeah.
This week we thought this is a good one.
Yes.
Are your arms okay, Ariana?
Yes.
Heavy
Good.
kid.
No, I'm
She's
good.
a tough kid.
You might want to chime in on this topic.
Yeah.
too.
Okay.
Overrated, underrated.
Yeah.
Sports villains. Right?
Yes. Like the Draymond Greens.
The Draymond Green stomping, which turned out to be a bad suspension. And there's
Dumars suspended.
just another a guy for the Maple Leafs. Not that anyone watches NHL, but he got suspended 3 games in a playoff series.
Really?
Yeah, for chucking some guy in the head. So I don't know who he is. He's Toronto.
Did Brendan Shanahan suspend him?
Shanny.
I'm serious. He used to
Possibly
do
the
that.
Detroit, the Detroit Power.
Right.
So overrated sports villain, a villain that maybe gets too much, is really not that bad of a person.
Yes.
But
Mine's
seems to
easy.
who is it?
It's Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas, it was all the things that are said about him, and and maybe it's because of the walk-off, and I have now brought myself to say he should not have led this walk-off off the court against the Chicago Bulls.
You're fine. It's not your daughter's event.
Okay,
Don't worry.
all right.
I'll let you know.
But this guy has done things. When he coached, he didn't do a very good job coaching in college basketball, Florida International, but the players really loved him. To a man, they all said it. He's done stuff for the LGBTQ community. His son, has talked about that, has spoken quite extensively on that. So I think the notion that Isaiah Thomas is this ultimate villain is not true. He was kept off the dream team wrongly, which is going to lead me to my overrated person, or underrated. But we'll talk about that though. So Isaiah Thomas is my overrated villain.
My overrated, and it's funny that I mentioned the NHL, is an easy one for me as well. I think it's Sidney Crosby. I think Sidney Crosby, mainly in this town, gets a really bad rap. He's a great guy in the community, pretty much a pretty clean, good player. Does he whine? Yes, but does that make you a villain?
Right.
Every play, so many guys whine about calls here and there.
Yes.
Detroit fans, I think, are extra bitter and angry because of what happened in Joe Louis Arena. He is the final captain to hoist the cup at that dump of a stadium. But, Draper, give it up, man. You couldn't even hold Crosby's stick, and you're crying about him not shaking your hand, Drapes. Whatever.
Drapes did?
Yeah, he was whining about
Really?
it.
Okay.
Now,
Drapes.
I will say this, but you look at him and his relationship with Alex Ovechkin and the relationship between the Penguins and Capitals, 2 very heated rivalries, very much like Pistons, Bulls, or anything like that.
Sure, right.
And they have the utmost respect.
Absolutely.
Both of those organizations,
Yes.
Ovechkin and Crosby, not even from the same, different countries in the Olympics. And there's anger between the teams, but there's no hatred. They still respect both players. I know Penguin fans that very much respect Ovechkin, and I don't know why Crosby. Pat Caputo, which I don't even know why I'm mentioning his name. This is the biggest Crosby hater out there. I don't know what his deal is. Crosby is definitely an overrated villain. Who's your underrated?
Wait, Ariana, did you have one? Overrated sports villain?
I don't know if I have overrated. I have underrated. He's not really underrated.
All right, well, we'll get back to you on the underrated. We'll turn the
Sure.
camera. All right, who's your underrated?
Underrated Michael Jordan. The entire
Shocker.
I'm going to quote Isaiah Thomas here. The entire Last Dance documentary was about what a butthole he was. Isaiah.
Family friendly.
Yes. And then he called Isaiah butthole. Like all the things. He is the one, according to the reports, that is responsible for keeping Isaiah off the Dream Team, a team he absolutely should have been on. The gambling. There's a lot of stuff tied to Jordan that is not such a good thing, and yet this guy is revered in the annals of basketball. So I'm saying Michael Jordan is my underrated villain. He should get much more hatred than he does.
My underrated, I know this is going to shock you as a Michigan man now, is Tom Brady.
Yeah?
I'm not saying he's not the greatest of all time.
Sure.
I'm not going to play this game. There's no denying that. His numbers prove that.
Okay.
But I don't buy all this he's a great guy, and there's a little dirtiness there to him. I think the inflate gate and some other things. I think that, and then for him to act all holier than thou is what really ticks me off. You know what? Again, this is underrated. Being underrated villain, this is actually a difference. It's we're twisting things in. That doesn't mean he's a bad quarterback, obviously, but I think that he deserves a little more heat than he got. Also, I'll say this, and I'm not just a bitter Steeler fan, all those years in the AFC East was awful, those years that he dominated. Teams 2, 3, and 4 were awful, whereas other AFC divisions had at least another team.
Somewhat of a gauntlet.
It didn't have to be 3 teams, but at least a second team that wasn't the Jets, the Dolphins, or the Bills, who then eventually got, and then all of a sudden it's crazy. The Bills start getting better, and Brady, I think we're out. So, all right, I'm going to take the camera so Ariana can tell us her underrated villain. Wait, do you agree to be on camera and pass the mic even as a minor?
We did.
Yes, I've been waiting for this moment.
Okay, all right.
I just, not really underrated because most people don't like him anyway, but Grayson Allen, he just plays dirty. He hurts people. I mean, all he does is like trip and shove and punch and then act like he didn't do it. So, I mean, I guess he's not like underrated because a lot of people don't like him, but I guess that's my pick.
He's a Duke guy, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Excellent, excellent. All right, we're going to give the camera back. She's doing much better than Walavera. Hasn't dropped the microphone at all. All right, so hot mic take. What do you got for us this week?
Yeah, and you can drop one too if you want, Aria. This is clearly not planned. My hot mic goes along with what we just talked about, Isaiah Thomas. On this text thread I have with some of the older guys here, the old heads, we talked about the worst and best Detroit sports moment. So I'm going to start with the worst, and this can include Michigan. I'm going to say Isaiah throwing the ball away to Bird is the worst.
Yeah.
There's some honorable mentions. Certainly. The timeout. The Rasheed Wallace leaving Robert Ory. The David Ortiz hitting home run against the Tigers in the 8th inning. But I'm going Isaiah Thomas throwing the ball away. We've done stuff like this, but I want some comments from some of our regular commentators here, commenters, I should say, not commentators. What do you think is the worst Detroit sports moment?
So gut punch, worst Detroit.
Yes. I mean, Sterling Sharp catching the ball in the end zone.
That was a woof. Yeah, there's plenty.
I mean,
I think
Hail Mary.
I think if you go biggest games, the games with the most on the line, it's going to be Isaiah Thomas and that steal by Bird. I can't. Yes, I mean the Colorado touchdown it was a regular season game. That was a wild card game with the Packers.
Yeah.
I could definitely.
But I
see
mean,
that.
Isaiah was the conference finals. Rasheed leaving Robert Ory was game 5, so that could get it too.
Boy, 300-meter hurdlers, check in.
Juan's gonna love this.
No, we said you're not in. We made it a point.
One
you're
of the
not allowed
Pates.
in.
We have 2 Pates in
This
this
is
episode.
not okay. This is
Say hi
not
to Quan.
okay. This is so. I'm mad at you right now. I don't know how you got down here. You got past security.
Where's Larry Williams?
past security.
Larry Williams is head of security.
People have been mad at me before, so really this isn't the first time.
Jeez, old Peter.
I'd like to
hijacking the
introduce
show.
myself to everyone downriver. My name is
Mike right now.
My name is Chris Pate.
This is not planned.
I'm Mike Gervasi's best friend. How you doing, Twan? Not you. Chick-fil-A. It's okay.
Listen, you might be able to jump in here.
Yeah, what do you need?
We're doing our hot mic right now. Go ahead.
Oh, my hot mic take. Whenever the Pehotes seem to book a trip, the location of the trip turns into disasters. Happened a few years ago. We booked a trip to Punta Cana. As soon as we booked it, people were dying mysteriously. To the point of people were telling us to cancel.
This show
our
is a
trip.
bloodbath. What is going on?
Well,
here?
I'm just telling you.
Maybe it's you.
Luther Vandross. We talked about him.
I book again a trip to Mexico recently, and what starts happening everywhere? People are getting shot and killed up on resorts and stuff. Elisa sends me a screenshot the day after booking of some murder at a resort and says maybe we shouldn't go here. Not the one we booked. It wasn't the sleep in of Cancun. But the point is, for our listeners, from now on, I'm going to let you know wherever I'm booking so you can book somewhere else to avoid the Pehote curse of disasters of, last year when we booked our Yellowstone trip. As soon as we booked the Yellowstone trip, it flooded. They closed the park. They closed the park.
Fortunately, nothing happened when we went to Europe. Except
Nothing.
on the plane right there.
Very close. Very close.
Lost your wallet.
Lost
You lost the wallet.
Yeah, nothing goes wrong on these travels.
You didn't even remember that. The Pates had to remind you.
We got straight
Not the
into Puerto
Pates,
Rico.
me.
Do you have a hot mic?
No. My hot mic is that
Stop ruining our show.
look what happens when security's lax.
Larry Williams. Larry's a listener. Larry is a listener. We're gonna. Larry,
I think Ruffner let him
I
down.
think he may have been off today. I think
Yeah.
Larry must have been today.
Larry's.
Ruffner saw me. He told me it was fine.
All right, everybody. Maybe we'll do some more of these video episodes. Thank you, Ariana. You were
Ariana,
great.
thank you so
Excellent.
much.
Thank you to all our special guests, Mr. Pate, Evie,
Torres, Coach
Miss
Torres.
Coach Torres,
And Mr. Sweeney's over there.
Mr. Sweeney. We get a little guest studio.
There he is.
Yeah, here it is. Like
He's
we
on the
said.
phone, though. He might be talking to Larry Williams.
Yeah, calling security. The Monaco of Downriver.